in this third and final game of the grand final. They're parachuting in right now, jumping on board with P90 Princess to kick it off. And we have seen P90 Princess jump up a lot in the second game and is in our top 20 overall. Will she be able to have an impressive performance here and potentially take the whole thing? This is Sweet Dreams, though. This is the one who closed it out impressively in that last game, and your #1 player overall, primed to take 25K home at the end of this game.
Yeah, I think that he's going to continue to play the exact same way that we saw him play through game 1, game 2, consistent, take fights that he knows he can win, don't force bad situations, don't take hop-out fights. Isco gonna go down early here to Milky Day shotgun, which we know can be absolutely brutal. That is not the way you want to go out.
Doesn't feel good. That was a battle of the Slayers there. We talked about both of them being potentially the guys to take home these bounties. Now it's going to be Teenage. He's taking quite a bit to the flesh, not really getting to kit up much here, and we are going to see the Reigns just sink his teeth into Teenage, send in another player out of contention. And we haven't seen Teenage too much in that top 20 or anything of the like. That may be the farewell to this player for the solos. Now we see Reigns getting inside of this Jeep, moving on along, gonna just knock out this fence, hop right on in, seeing what loot can be picked up here. Sweet Dreams playing it relatively slow inside of that camper, gonna run out now, get into the Jeep of zone, move on over to another point of interest. We have not seen where that first safe zone is going to be yet. That is going to be popping up very soon. Now you heard Drazzle talk about this player. This is Ninja, one of the members from Luminosity Gaming, moving about the map now. Hasn't had the best start.
He needs a big game here to step up. He's got to slay out hard. He's got to take. He needs to take some fights that he normally just wouldn't, or he may just be at this point decided that he's not going to crack into that top 10 or into the money, and maybe he's just going to go ahead and see if he can close out a game and take one down just to show that he is able to play at that level.
You read my mind, though, thinking about how differently we may see a player like that play this game out. We're going to see the ring rotate all the way to the northern portion of the map. That's going to include quite a lot of area. Oh, wow, a kill going to come in from Illusion here. We have seen this team be very aggressive, Illusion being very aggressive in general, that whole region really slaying hard. But one of the things I was going to mention for someone like Ninja, if you maybe feel like you can't get that best placement here, just play for the money. Get some big kills. Each one going to count for $100.
Pull a Tixi.
Pull a Tixi. I mean, pull a Tixi. I mean, I think that's everyone's goal in absolutely every game of H1Z1. That was, saw the follow train come in on him last night. I knew I instantly followed him on Twitter. Not having the same amount of results here today. Now jumping on board with Ashton. What have you thought about the performance from Ashton so far?
Ashton is in a rough spot. He needs, I believe he actually cracked top 20, but he's somewhere near the lower end of that or bubbled just out of it. He's gonna
right on that bubble.
Yeah, he's gonna need to come in, get a couple kills. He's gonna need to make late game. He definitely needs to crack that top 10 to move up and possibly get into the money. And we have Crumb here who has decided to actually switch to the reindeer helmet here, which typically you don't want to do. It kind of gives you away when you're standing behind something and your horns are sticking up.
Showing a little bit of confidence here, definitely a little bit of a flare in style. Nightwalker now going to be inside of this building, crouching down here, taking it nice and easy. And man, you can't trust those Frenchies. They ain't loyal, but as we can see, Chop It Down finds himself in a fight. Going to get connected there, taking a little bit of damage to that flesh.
And we'll see if Noah decides to chase this, and he is gonna play aggressive again. He did this on the fight with Isco and got punished for it. We'll see what happens when he tries to press on Choppa. He has figured out where Choppa's at. Choppa going for the quick peek, gets a touch. Noah now behind in this fight. We'll see if Choppa decides to get aggressive. He knows he has to take the fight, but Noah is gonna catch him over the top with the hip fire right to the head.
I felt that one, Supersonic. We did see Chop It Down catch up in that fight, but Noah is going to be rewarded for his aggression. Tixi going to be the closest player to him right now, about 290 meters off in the distance. May have heard something, but I think that Tixi is going to choose not to engage Aladdin. This player's been playing very well here for pretty much the entirety of this grand final series. Going to rotate into this building. What do you think of this setup that we do see Aladdin running?
Aladdin is fully kitted. He is ready to go. It looks like he's just probably stacking up on a few more, a little bit more ammo. Maybe if he can find some more stuff to shred, like the military backpack for making makeshifts, also making a couple more bandages, just trying to build up his resources so that when he gets to the late game, he has enough to get himself out of bad situations.
Shurima Wizard. This player got cut down early a few times, but has looked good in every matchup. Now Aladdin getting a little bit aggressive, just sinking some shots into this car, but he is going to connect right onto Calzi there, taking about 25% of that health bar right out of that player's grasp.
Yeah, he wanted that vehicle there. He was going ahead to bait it, not able to land that opening shot onto Calzi, mistimed it just barely, and ends up getting that fight.
Here comes the salvo of bombs, and right behind it going to be that air supply. We are going to see the explosions pan out right now, and it is just that Zen moment where all the loot crashes down to the earth, and we will have to see if anyone decides to contest that here, trying to pick up the valuable resources that are inside, or if they are going to be scared of the fight that could go down around that area. Calzi still not all the way healthy here, but in boxes, is on that ATV, very mobile at this point. Not too many people hanging out on the tops of buildings yet, though.
No, a lot of guys are still probably trying to get their full kit. They're trying to make sure that they have everything they need for the end game. They're not ready to set up on the rooftops. Some guys will start to go to rooftops, and as we're talking about rooftops, we have Reptar trying to make it up on top of this fire department, and he is going to get up to play the roof. Now, this one has actually got a lot of good angles. As long as you're not getting pinched from both sides, you can jump up and over the top of the roof and basically get cover from any side just because of the way that the roof is designed.
Yeah, it's almost like those ridges, when you see two of those ridges next to each other and you get inside of the valley, but it's set up in almost a triangle, can rotate around it, get a lot of good cover, and we are going to see a Lammy slide right on to Triv here.
Hunting rifle as well, just a free one for Triv there.
Gifted, absolutely gifted. No one is brave enough to contest Triv, and to that aggressive play, we are going to see the spoils. Now Reptar still in this very good position here on the roof. 50 Shades going to try to go into this building. Will Reptar be able to find a kill at this moment? Jerk Chicken inside of that gas station. Not too many players around Jerk Chicken at the moment, and he also does have that car to get away if needed, and after getting this loot, will be able to rotate to another POI.
Yeah, absolutely. In that fight there at the fire station, you see the open door, you walk up, you're expecting possibly somebody to be in there, you hear footsteps, you go inside looking, only to find out that the guy is on the roof. So now you have to worry about, can I come out of the door without this guy being posted up above me and one pumping me in the top of the head?
This looks like it could be a fight that one of these guys wants to take, but Rain's gonna jump into the Jeep after taking a little bit of damage here. Gonna drop down to about 75% health and cruise along to live another day. Good shots coming in from BMR OG. Expect to see his name in the kill feed at some point because he has gotten to test his guns. So when he does get in one of those gunfights, he should have the lead down. Milky Day going to fall to Rogue, though. That was one of the Slayers that we saw already come online in this game. Some shots going to be sunk into Reigns. Some beautiful shots as well from Triv. I mean, he sinks it right into Reigns, down all the way to 25%.
Yeah, Rain's gonna have to take another stop to heal, and we see him actually go for the seat swap in the car to heal up. Reptar losing his helmet, but as we see, he has multiple angles here to cover himself from with the roof. It's basically a roof with built-in ridges.
And as we start to see more and more of these kills pop up in the kill feed, just want to remind all of you at home that you can go to h1z1.com/watch to actually watch the game, but also to see exactly where these kills are coming from.
And Triv gonna get that finish onto Reigns. Unfortunately, Reigns was super low. Triv able to just rail off some shots, only needs to connect one and gets the finish. And we now see Reptar here pushing in. I think he is looking for 50 Shades, and we'll see what happens. 50 Shades set up behind the door, so when Reptar comes through here to check, usually people look straight forward. Reptar should check, doesn't see it. First shot gonna come out, second shot gonna come out. 50 Shades, clean shotgun kill, 2 pumps and out.
Not as clean as you would expect it to be, playing that style where you actually put yourself in the bathroom, and look at just how low 50 Shades is going to register here, taking some serious damage from the spread of Reptar. Do you think Reptar was a little too aggressive there, was really set up on those roofs, decides to dive down into the building because he heard the player actually go in? challenges the bathroom. Very early on in the game, I mean, we still have 52 players up. We had 53 before that engagement.
Yeah, he wasn't under any direct threat from anybody outside. He had a rooftop where he could still drop down. He had that whole other side of the building that he could have taken for cover, but he chooses to go in and take a fight in a close-range environment where you were literally just rolling the dice. Those fights are all about flicks and using the shotgun well, and you put yourself at risk really quickly, especially there when the player's set up in an area and you're looking for him, and he knows the only spot you can come from. He's usually going to get the first shot. You're starting the fight off blind and behind a shot.
What is there to gain from jumping down and taking an engagement like that? Because I know the alternate...
$100?
That is true. The alternate route, though, with patience, a little bit of discipline, if you sit on that roof and you actually wait for another player to come out after someone else does contest 50 Shades.
He had the option to go ahead and just disengage completely, too, and leave the area. There was nobody in the immediate vicinity there to the west. He could have dropped off the roof, stepped into those ridges. There's some really nice ridge lines with those little dips and valleys to the west of PV there, and then he could have cleared his way up the hill and been completely out of that area.
Reptar's been aggressive throughout the entirety of the solo queue series here at Dreamhack. And you know what? Really do like seeing players play to their play style. So Reptar is going to be ripped, but we are on board with Zach, and we have seen this player perform quite well throughout the entirety of the series.
Yeah, absolutely. We also see a lot of players from that. When we were seeing that safe zone, we saw a lot of players like 10K, Inboxes. There's some big names within the community down there on that southwest corner of the gas, and we'll have to see how they rotate out to maybe either separate or eliminate each other.
I mean, we got some of the 60 best in the world competing in this final game here, and it really does all come down to this Supersonic on board with Aladdin, and we already saw he is primed for a huge chunk of this $100,000. Been able to slay out, getting a couple extra 100 inside of his pocket as well. Now, we are seeing Triv already getting into this kill feed before, trying to sink some shots into Zach, but it's going to be Tixi, the Dream Maker, taking down a player from PYD, and PYD just being so aggressive. I wouldn't be surprised if PYD was the one who started that engagement in the first place, but ultimately it's going to be Tixi who does close it out regardless of who started it. That's going to be an extra $100 for him and 1,000 placement points. And in that top right portion of your screen, if you take a gander over there, you can see a lot of these players are starting to get slightly clumped up, moving a little bit further away from each other where they do have the chance. Now on board with Radic.
Yeah, Radic, another one of the players on the Echo Fox squad, which as a whole, they're showing up big today. Mountain FPS, though, gonna get eliminated by Zach as we jump back on board with him. And we go back to talk to about Aladdin here pretty quickly. He's playing very, very consistently. He is absolutely set up as long as he can maintain composure. I'd still say that he's a big favorite to just go ahead and take the whole thing.
Oh yeah, you got to put him in the top 10 favorites there, that is for sure. But for everyone who may just be tuning in for this grand final, you want to actually break down what this siren can mean as Flame actually pops that explosive there.
Yeah, so every time that these gas circles go ahead and close in, that siren is indicating to all the players and letting them know that the gas is released and it is going to start moving, which means if you're on the edge, you want to start running a couple seconds ahead of that to get going. Also, don't forget, everybody at home, if you are watching, you'd like to keep track of your favorite players, if they're alive, how many kills they have, everything, you can go ahead and check out the full viewing experience over at h1z1.com/watch, and you can get all the statistics for all the games that have been played and get live stat updates while watching right on the site.
Could we see a fight here right now? Rogue creeping around. Pineapples gets dropped by Dropped. That's going to be really big. Drop didn't necessarily come online as big as we expected to see him in these previous two games. But looking alive here, Pineapples, though, with a disappointing performance.
Yeah, Piney gonna go down much earlier than he wanted to, but he will be back again tomorrow, already invited in, and he'll be there with his team Denial in the Fives finals.
Not done watching them yet, that is for sure. Be sure to tune in tomorrow to see the way that the Fives do play out. But we gotta put all of our eyes on this solo queue right now as we see this air supply plummet to the ground. And it is very close to Nightwalker here. Will Nightwalker attempt to contest? I mean, there's no one else to really put the pressure on him, but we do see just kind of rotating away. P90 Princess is going to be the person we jump on board with now, but we're hearing those shots flare out from Kyrie, and he's trying to get them into Hurrah. We saw Hurrah really slay out in the first game of this Grand Final Series. But Hurrah right now going to move into that vehicle, try to get out. Kyrie getting that throwable in, and you can hear that explosion, but you don't see too much damage popping up anywhere.
Nah, Hurrah gonna be able to easily dodge that one.
Not gonna register.
had already pulled back, and you could see him kind of whip to the right at the end there. He had already cocked to throw the grenade, but the car started moving, so he tried to lead it a little bit, but the vehicle was gonna outrun that throw.
Yeah, definitely not gonna get tagged there, but we are going to see 10K trying to tag Ninja. Ninja off very far in the distance, about 150 away. Having a difficult time, though, actually getting those shots. And you can see Ninja just curling all about here. Some really cheeky footwork from this player of LG.
Yeah, the ENAS, and 10K now going to use the back seat and hang out for a second. Swap needed to reload his weapon, didn't want to get out and put himself at risk. Swaps the back seat, goes ahead and gets that reload off. And he's going to go ahead and take off here, and we're back with Ninja, who looks like he is still on the run. We'll see if Bowman tries to give him any trouble. He's pretty far off. I think Ninja has finally gotten himself to safety, unless one of these players decides to get really aggressive on him.
I mean, Anonymous could really come in here right now and try to contest, but just in time, Ninja does find some trees, finally gets some cover. He's running through that field for quite some time, leaving himself wide open. He really didn't have a choice because he had to disengage from that fight. And now Ninja actually does have optimal cover here, and Anonymous could have gotten punished if we saw this player try to get too aggressive. So Ninja really doing a good job of staving that aggression with some nice shots. Now going to turn into TK. 10K, sorry, but is not able to connect there at all. We didn't talk about this ring yet, though, Supersonic. How do you think this one will play out?
I am not sure until we see this next one pull, and we'll see where it ends up going. It is actually going to go ahead and center on itself. So we have a little bit of Harris Ridge, so we're in there still. There's going to be some prime real estate there for a little bit. Hold on, we have a fight between Zach and Rogue. Rogue actually behind at the start of that, but he is able to turn it around and clean up Zach. Takes him down. He's going to be able to get a heal off. But that safe zone there is going to be a lot of open field, so it's going to be similar to game one of the finals today here in the solos.
And now we are jumping on with Apex Shay. Just putting some suppressive fire out into Measley. Nothing too aggressive here, just trying to keep that in the mind of that player, trying to put the fear into him.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rogue, I believe, is actually leading now, that being the second kill. That's the first person to land 2 kills in this match. So he is currently making the most money, other than placement points and bumping up, but actual match, he's currently in the lead.
Yeah, and all of those kills are going to stack up in total from these first 3 games, and whoever wins overall going to be taking home an additional $3,000 alongside anything that they do get from placement.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see who ends up getting that highest kill total. We've seen some players drop 5, 6 kill games, 3 or 4 in the next, too.
Gets down Zeeth. Zeeth had progressed so far in this last one. Now we're on board with Shurima Wizard. Going to have to put down the smoke here to try to heal himself up. He gets into perfect cover just in the nick of time.
Yeah, and another free med kit to replace the one that he's about to use to get the bleed off, sitting there on the dresser, and he is gonna grab it.
Yeah, and that is going to give him just enough resources to heal up. And that's going to also put him in a decent position approaching the mid game, which is right around the corner. The Siren's going to be indicative of that.
That gas, yeah, taking off and releasing again. So these players now know that the circle is closing, and we are going to let the tension go ahead and build more as this safe zone shrinks again and has 46 players remain. So this is something that we can actually talk about here. An 175 player online public match, at the first gas circle, there's about 35 players left. We're a few in, and we're at 46.
Rizar moves into kind of a dangerous position here. Thinks that he has a pretty good line on a player. Tries to get aggressive, but there is a player inside of this building. It's going to be BMR Oh, wow. Ninja finally going to get up onto this board here. It's going to be Calsey who he takes down, but now we are in the middle of that shotgun fight. Rizar is down, but he comes out on top, taking down Boomin, but he does not have enough time here. He still has the shotgun out. The dream is broken, though. BMR OG, who had an eye on Rizar just a little bit earlier because he was in the building, he got those initial shots into Rizar. He is able to clean up shop there. Now on board with Nightwalker with only 43 players remaining, and the gas quickly encroaching.
Yeah, gas coming in. That was definitely a good cleanup. BMR playing that very well, deciding to wait, and then unfortunately, the other player getting pinched out there and forced into two really bad back-to-back fights.
Can TC get the Cinderella story going yet again? Comes in first place yesterday. Today doesn't have the same impressive finish, but now all eyes need to be on Illusion because he may be getting sent home right now. There's the finish. We see Gas Runner send that player home and grab all of that sweet loot. Only 42 players left in this third and final game of the solo queue series.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of Korea versus Asia there. Korea tacking up another win for themselves.
50 Shades not in the best spot here. We're going to see Anonymous just absolutely douse that smoke with these frags. No connection, though. 50 Shades back up to about 75% health here. Anonymous circling the water like a shark, though. 50 Shades outside of that smoke, but Anonymous going to decide to jump back into the police car instead of trying to get shots in. He can set himself up in a good position here to try to use those wheels as cover, but he's just going to go full ham. Another throwable going to come out. No connection, though, onto 50 Shades. It goes askew to the left. 50 Shades then finds himself up in that fight, and we see Anonymous retreat now with inboxes. That fight is going to go on in another portion of the screen, but it's going to be Anonymous who loses that body armor, jumps back inside of that car. 50 Shades hot in pursuit, but Anonymous inside that Rari can start to get that bad boy revved up and scooch on out of there.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he really wants to disengage, though. It does look like he just wants to take the fight. I don't know if he's decided that he's not making it into that top placement, so he's just trying to look to get those kills. This is the game where if you're gonna hunt bounty kills and you're in a bad position to make the money rounds, this is where you start causing some chaos. But his car is extremely low as he drives through open field, and it needs to get out of there quickly.
That is degrading fast. Going to need to find a good place to hang out. Now we're on board with inboxes. Y2K Tap King has been sent back. Inboxes now up against this ridge in between the gas, and you can see how much damage that is already starting to do to inboxes.
Yeah, he's just going to go ahead and roll a med kit, though.
Not
So he
even
comes out of the gas
Anonymous.
and already rolling Anonymous in a bad situation. Still down to about one shot, with shots coming into the back from Kyreg. Kyreg with a long throw gets the Kobe, and Jordy drops to Adrian.
Didn't even need to be that flashy there out of Kyreg, but he just flexes, shows how much skill he really does have, closing out, just snuffing Anonymous. Anonymous did find a very bad position to be in, right? That aggression gets punished. Car just absolutely degrades, not in a great spot, doesn't have enough time to run out on foot, has to get in that bad fight, and now it is dropped. The young gun, he's back, sending home Monster.
Yeah, and it looks like the player inside there is aware that somebody's in the gas. He keeps looking that way. Kyreg gonna lose his helmet, trying to throw some pre-fire to keep Prox off of him for a second. Gonna get his new helmet on. Prox hit once or tagged once there. Kyreg getting aggressive, coming out with the Molotov, taking the only cover that Prox had there. Throws down a smoke though, and Prox is gonna be able to disengage. Might see some more throwables come out from Kyreg, thinking that he's on that tree. Prox now out in the open though, but he's gonna go ahead and clean up. Ninja takes him down, and Gas Runner's gonna drop to Measly.
Did you see that pop there? Ninja was up in that gas, was about to come in. He's already taking quite a lot of damage to that health bar. The pop comes in, he is cleaned up, nice and easy. Prox showing that he can bang with the best of them, starting to slay out. Now gonna get that throwable down. Kyreg and him in that battle. But we're gonna jump on board with Huskers. He has this fence here. Back on with Prox and Kyreg.
Yeah, Prox here back in this fight again with Kyreg. He did disengage, made a great play to get the smoke nade down, then back off to make sure he doesn't get taken out by any throwables. He is in the open, having to play a small hill. Doesn't quite work as well as a ridgeline against Kyreg, who has some tree cover, but he is further in, and we do hear the sirens going off, so this gas may start forcing Kyreg towards him, which puts some pressure on him and allows Prox to have the advantage, but Prox is trying to find a better position so he doesn't get pinched out.
Dropped has just gotten an additional 2 kills in that kill feed. Now we're gonna see inboxes.
A repeat here. And Sweet Dreams is gonna eliminate Boxy for the second game in a row.
Oh, the crowd's starting to get crazy there.
Or does it feel bad at this point? You've done it twice, man.
That was an absolutely filthy kill. I mean, that one's going to get clipped out, and you're just going to relive that team death over and over and over again. Frag going to be sending Flame home. See a nice pop. Trans going to be able to get back inside of this Jeep. Apex Shay sent home by Prox. Prox has been another one of these sharks just slaying out here, going to be taking quite a lot of money home. And we see Trans go straight through that smoke. A few players getting some eyes on him, and now Dropped is going to be sent home from Rogue. He already had 3 kills. It's going to be $300, but the placement not going to be that impressive. Doug going to be able to trade out onto Rogue. Grimmy Bear going to be sent home by FPS.
Yeah, another teammate on teammate kill there. Doug in a really tough situation here. Down to about 25, gets his new helmet on. Needs to get a heal off. We'll see if Garani decides to play aggressively or not. Hops into the vehicle, doesn't drive off, decides he wants to stay for the fight. Sweet Dreams finds himself another kill with that shotgun.
P90 Princess makes it into that top 20, doesn't get to enjoy it long. Ooh. Jerk Chicken, Doug is raw. Both going to be sent out. We're down to 17 here. Radak getting a really nice kill. Garani, this was your winner last time. He's going to get his body armor popped off. Still in this fight with Measly. It looks like he's up. No damage to his flesh. Trying to send Measly out of this one, but Measly is just dodging, weaving in and out of cover, and Measly gets closed out. This time it's going to be by Radak. He gets in, he gets this pinch. Guarani now finds himself in a bad position. He had already taken damage in that previous engagement. Ooh. And Radak with the arm gonna bank that one in right up to the tree.
With him going down, that's also setting up Aladdin, who's still in this game, for prime time to take down that top spot. Sweet Dreams also still in this match. Both these players in top contention for first place overall. Aladdin here, as we see, is playing out of the smoke in the middle. Not a whole lot of cover in a rough spot. You can see his vehicle is smoking in the middle there. He can't go that far in it. This is a rough spot for Aladdin. If he gets eliminated, he's basically setting up Sweet Dreams to take it all down.
That is so true. We can see the crowd starting to get riled up here in Atlanta. They're starting to get loud, and we can see Sweet Dreams taking that good fight. Kyrig may go down to Radak here. Radak up so far. Kyrig diving into that smoke, but will it be enough? A throwable is going to come out. That frag could be enough to send him home, but it's going to be Radak's rifle that sends home Kyrig. Now Radak going to jump inside of that Jeep. There's another fight that he could take. This time it's going to be Nightwalker, but Radak knows he does not need to take another fight right now. Going to retreat. Aladdin, this is one of the players that can take the whole thing. We can see the smoke coming out and just kill after kill in the kill feed. Radak, Gabismon, and Blood Inferno all getting sent home. Now Aladdin is in a bad car and in a bad fight, but he's going to be able to send home a Dread from LG, and inside the gas, Tixi is back with the Cinderella story. He is going to send Aladdin home, and that could really set the landscape for first place here, because as you can see, Sweet Dreams is still in it, but gets knocked out by Howie, and then Trans gets knocked out by a player from Epsilon. Splint is looking good. Prox in prime position here, trying to take a fight. Only 7 players are going to remain supersonic.
Crumb now finishing off a long-range fight, takes out Splint out of the car. Prox gonna clean up onto Nightwalker, goes extremely low here, needs to get his health up, has a ton of smoke nades down around him. Crumb in a good position here. Car in very great position, has a ton of health. Full health, full vehicle here. We are down to 5 players remaining. We have 10K. We have Howie, both off of Echo Fox, showing up big here. Tixi, a player that went off big yesterday in the final game of his heat. Can he do it again in the final game of the final?
He's gonna get popped, but he gets some serious damage into Howie, and he manages to dodge his throwable, and Prox from TK gonna sweep in, get that kill. Crumb now trying to get some shots into TK. He's dipped him all the way to 25% health. Prox in the wing could dive in here and manage to pick up this additional kill. Only 4 players are left. Crumb wants to contest here, gonna move back to the gas, try to get this line. Now Crumb getting some shots in. Prox is in the wings though. Now Crumb behind the wheel of this car. He can see 10K. Gas is going to skew the vision. 10K trying to get some shots in, but it's Tixi. He is back, and he's going to send 10K top 3.
We are
Crum's back
down
in the
to
car.
3. Tixi here playing very well. Crumb already hit, gonna use the car as his safe zone. Tixi though gonna get taken out by the Kobe from Prox. We're gonna see Prox versus Crumb here. Crumb having to use his vehicle, has more cover than Prox. Prox is in the open, but the vehicle is low. We'll see if Prox decides to switch to try and hit the car. He is gonna set it on fire. All he has to do is reload, finish the car off, and he's gonna take it home. Crumb gets out of the way just in time. Gas is moving very slowly at his back. Prox trying to open up. Both players so low here. Crumb
dodges
gonna
that
go down,
explosion.
and Prox finishes. Game 3 goes to Prox. Team Caliber taking down game 3.
Absolutely beautiful. Tixi almost bringing it back there, but now we are going to have to see who the winner is.